We are back at it again. Yes, indeed. BoinkStudios.com is where you can find us. Rays, Sports, and Slams. Brought to you by, again, the good people at Boink Studios. BoinkStudios.com, where you can find Tom Clark's Main Event, Tom Clark's 6M Podcast, Bachman's Basement. And, of course, we start every Monday with the big hitters on Rays, Sports, and Slams. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. Hope everybody enjoyed their Valentines. I spent some time with the fam and Mrs. All Day and all that good stuff. So we're back to the grind, back to the sports. And before I say anything else, let me bring in my two amigos, Mr. Mack Garvin. What's up, brother?
What's going on, guys? Good to see everybody again. Was looking forward to this conversation. Please like, share, and subscribe to Boink Studios. We're back, America.
And of course, the trifecta, Mr. Walter Duncan III. What is up, sir?
What's up, guys? I'm glad to be here. Glad to be back in front of America so we can drop some fun knowledge on sports.
That's right, dude. All right. As promised, we discussed this last week. We are doing our top 12 NFL picks. These are the people that we think will go to what teams and why. And I'm going to be silly and go first. I don't know why, but I'm going to do this. All right. As you know, in order, the Raiders are grafting 1. The Jets are 2. Arizona is 3. Tennessee is 4. The Giants are 5. Cleveland 6. Washington, Saints, Chiefs, Bengals, Miami Dolphins, and Dallas. I'm going to say number 1, Los Angeles Raiders are probably going to get Fernando Mendoza. They desperately need a quarterback. He's a real McCoy, so I cannot hate on Fernando Mendoza. I think he's going 1. Number 2, I think the Jets are going to take a linebacker. I think they're going to take the Ohio State guy, Arvell Reese. I think they desperately need a linebacker. I think they're getting hammered in the middle, so I think they have to take him. The Giants, if they're smart, will take Ruben Bain. They need an edge rusher. Ruben Bain's from Miami. He's a beast. I think that's a guy that should go. Now, I'm not saying he's going to, but these are just my opinions. Tennessee Titans, I think they're going to go offensive tackle. They're going to get Francis Muragawa from Miami, another great offensive tackle, and I think Tennessee needs it. Some of these picks are now going to be suspended because I'm not 1,000% sure on needs and wants. I think the Cardinals need an offensive tackle, so I said Spencer Fano. Will they get a quarterback? It's a possibility. I don't know if Kyle Murray is going to stay or not. So that's up in the air. Cleveland Browns, they desperately need a safety. They're getting burnt on every throw. So I'm saying Khalib Downs from Ohio State is your safety, and he's going to Cleveland. The Washington Commanders, I think they need another edge rusher. So I looked at the best edge rusher, and it's David Bailey from Texas Tech. The Saints, I went a little off kilter here, and I picked wide receiver Jordan Tyson. I think the Saints don't have any receivers that I could think of, and I think, what else could they really use? The Chiefs, I picked linebacker Sonny Styles. I think they need a linebacker. Their secondary is solid, but I think their middle of the field is a little suspect. I think the Bengals need a wide receiver, so I picked Carnell Tate. And I think the Dolphins should get edge rusher Kedrick Falk. And I'll end it with the Dallas Cowboys. They're desperate in the secondary. Their secondary is fresh, hot poo-poo. So I think Mansour Delane from LSU is probably, from my eyes, the best corner in the draft. I think he would go number 12. So there you have it. Those are my picks. I am drained because that took a lot out of me to think of all these people and remember all these names. But I did it. Mac, I see you laughing. The ball is yours, dude. What you got?
Yeah, I'm dumbfounded when you said about Cleveland. Like, wowzers, pal. Okay. So, all right. So, America, listen, same deal. Went through a lot of footage, data search, researching, double checking players, and it's hard to do this stuff. I mean, there are paid professionals that do it. So here's my suggestion, So now for me, America, my thoughts is going to be this. I'm picked players based on inefficiencies that I've seen as a fan watching opposing teams. You need help here, you need help there. Mel Kiper is legendary. I'll never forget the draft with the Colts. One GM was like, who in the heck is Mel Kiper anyway? And I'm like, Mel Kiper's better than that GM was. And FYI, that year, that GM got fired the next year. But anyway, so my thoughts are a little different from Ray's here. All right, so we all kind of have a general. Well, it depends on what our boy brother Walt here, Mr. Duncan. Fernando Mendoza looks like the clear choice. Period. You know, from Indiana, they had an amazing run season. We all saw it happen in America. You know, um, if they choose not to, I do believe he's better prepared, and I think he is definitely so ready. The two with the Jets, I mean, it depends on what they do. They need a quarterback, America. How about Trinidad Chambliss from Ole Miss? That dude's balling. They need a quarterback. They have messed up. The last one they tried to make work, Zach, when they drafted Zach, they got him. You saw what happened to Justin Fields this past season. It's unfortunate. But Sam Darnold is another guy that they picked also too, but didn't have help. So I think, unfortunately, if Trinidad goes, he's going to be in a circumstance like this past year with the Tennessee Titans. You know, so hopefully. All right, so from there, that's where I'm going. If they choose not to go, I would go linebacker from Ohio State, Avril Reese with the New York Jets, if they do a pivot. I have the Cardinals at third versus fourth, and I think we're in the same situation. Kyler Murray is going to be the deciding factor. If he leaves, if they don't pay him or make a decision, then they need a quarterback. And just like Ray mentioned earlier, Ty Simpson, I think, is going to be a beast after Chambliss. But if not, maybe offensive line help. That's the problem with Kyler Murray now, running for his life. Francis Maguire from Miami, the U, I think would be a great addition. At 4 with the Titans, they picked their quarterback last year, but that man needs O-line help. Come on. Francis Maguire maybe as an option can be, I think, for them as well. If Arizona doesn't take them, it's just Miami, the U, they're great. However, Ray did mention edge rusher also too as a possibility with David Bailey from Texas Tech. You know, my Giants, we need another wide receiver, regardless of what Ray just said. Cornell Tate from Ohio, the Buckeyes, needs to be a New York Giant. All right. Cleveland, I'm not sure if they've made an official decision between the two quarterbacks they have, but they need, I think, a tight end from the Oregon, the Ducks, Kenyon Sadiq, depending on how he pronounces it, I think it'd be a great fit. Or get them some more O-line help with Spencer Fano from Utah. Washington, and for me, the same answer as Ray, Ruben. Edge rusher from Miami. The dude is a beast. We've seen it on the field. The Saints, they have to figure out what they're going to do with stability with quarterback, but he does need a wide receiver help. So Jordan Tyson from Arizona, I think would be great, but they need someone to run the rock also too. We just saw Walters III, the running back from Seattle, was the bell cow at the Super Bowl. Maybe they go running back with Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish. Now, Kansas City at number 9, this America is the real interesting pick. Now, we all know Patrick Mahomes needs help on the O-line. However, he does need wide receiver that can get the ball. Worthy was nice, don't get me wrong, but maybe, just maybe, the Cheetah has left Miami. He's on the run. Maybe they go get him back into the fold, and then they move up to get him more O-line protection for our boy. And, Patrick Mahomes boy. So maybe Caden Proctor from Alabama, offensive left. The Bengals, they don't need wide receiver. They don't need a quarterback. Their O-line's doing great. How about we go corner with Mansour Delane from LSU? How about that? Everyone can need some talent help. Miami, they don't know if they're going to keep their quarterback. They just let the Cheetah go. How about Makai Lemon from USC, the wide receiver? Or some cornerback help also too, and Jermod McCoy. I mean, it's all over the place, America. And then, of course, last but not least, he's at 12. Our friend, we all know that Ray is a diehard Dallas, whatever, boys or girls, depending on the day of the week. I'm going linebacker. Linebacker, Sonny Styles. Sonny looked good from the Ohio State Buckeyes. Walter,
what you got?
What you got, bro?
I think all of us, believe that the Raiders, the consensus overall number 1 pick is Fernando Mendoza, right? I think overall, I think they need a quarterback. They need a guy that's going to lead that team into the future, and you can build around him from that standpoint. So I think they get the Raiders get their quarterback up there. At number 2, I think the Jets get edge rusher Averill Bell from Ohio State. The Cardinals, I think they get the tackle, their franchise tackle, and wait until next year to get a quarterback under there. So I think they get Francis Magoa from Miami. The Titans, I see them getting edge rusher David Bailey from Texas Tech. Giants, I think they get Carnell Tate. You want to get your boy the quarterback. What's his name for the Giants? You want to get him more.
Oh, my guy. Oh, my new best friend Jackson Dart.
Yeah, you want to get Dart another weapon, right? Yeah, he has neighbors already who's going to be coming back. He has Scatterbo. You have Robinson. Get Tate in there. Get that offense humming. And you have John Harbaugh at the coaching position. I think you get Carnell Tate and you see this offense really hum this shit. At number 6, though, I'm a little bit different. I have the Dallas Cowboys trading up number 6 to get their defensive anchor, Caleb Downs from Ohio State. They trade up to get him. At number 7, I think we all said Ruben Bain Jr. from Miami. At number 8, I have Sonny Styles, linebacker from Ohio State, going to the Saints.
Okay.
I have another trade at number 9. The Dolphins trade up. They're going to let go of Tua. They let go of the Cheetah. They let go of Chubb. They're going to trade up to get Alabama quarterback at Simpson.
Okay.
Number 10, the Bengals are going to take the corner, the Mansour Delane. Number 11, the Chiefs are going to get Jeremiah Love. They have Rice. They have some supporters. They have some weapons already on the outside for Mahomes. He has a decent line. I think they get some more linemen help in free agency in the offseason. But I think Jeremiah Love comes in there. He's that bell cow. And then at number 12, the Cleveland Browns take Jordan Tyson, wide receiver from Arizona State.
Okay. All right. Wow. I like it. I like the little diversity. I want to say that a couple of honorable mentions. I have Sonny Styles, the linebacker, our Carnell Tate, the wide receiver. And then I think Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver, could go anywhere in those spots. Before I ask both you one question, let me say a quick hello to the gang. Mr. Jeffrey Peter says, "What's up?" Says, "Up to you guys." What's up, Jeff? Thank you for watching. And of course, Nando. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. My other question to you is this. Do you see anybody trading up their draft picks for any potential current NFL players? Could someone say, "Hey, I'm going to take my number 1 draft pick and I want such and such from your team already"? I'm going to ask this of Mack first, and then I'll go to Walt.
Wow. Wow.
I got you both.
Yeah. I mean, the Jets, man, like they need a quarterback. They Justin Fields, they cut him, but who would let their QB? I did say if they go, quarterback, they'll draft one. And that's why I said Trinidad. But I think they're in a situation where they need an experienced QB. What if Kyler Murray goes to the Jets and then they offer their second pick and then they like move out of second because they can't afford to keep screwing it up. I think that's their problem. Like they have tried and keep screwing it up. And they this past season is a prime example. They went and got Justin Fields, and then basically sat him halfway through the season and put the other QB in. I think that would be the shocker because Kyler Murray, they're on the fence of what they're doing with the Cardinals. So I think that would be an interesting direction.
All right. Well, who do you, if it did happen, who could you see doing it? And if not, that's fine. But I just want to get your take on it. Could you see anybody saying, "I'll trade this pick for a current NFL star"?
I think that I look at the Philadelphia Eagles in that situation with AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. AJ Brown.
You break up a little bit.
Uh,
Now you sound better. Now, go ahead.
Okay, I'm looking at AJ Brown off the Eagles. And,
Okay.
Because of that situation that happened with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, I think that he's a definite trade candidate. I think that if you look at a team, maybe like the Giants are the Commanders, the NFC East, believe it or not. I think that he has enough talent. He's still young enough that one of them may want to say, "What? You already, take a risk on a young guy. You want to take a risk on a proven talent who's produced, and we're going to look at AJ Brown for this pick here." So maybe AJ Brown. It's hard to see. I don't think there's a lot of guys that are going to be in this free agent crop this year.
Okay.
So I think AJ Brown will be one of the top guys if they make this trade.
All right. I'm going to say if somebody's going to make a trade, I hate piggyback with Walt, but I was thinking the Eagles because I know AJ Brown is becoming like sort of a cancer. He's still a quality receiver. He's a big giant baby, but he's a quality receiver. I think if you could somehow get a really good top, pick and get maybe a good edge rusher or a decent corner, I probably may do it for someone like him. Maybe you could change AJ Brown and make him more of a viable threat. I feel like that could be a huge plus. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. That's the guy. I think he would be the only person I could think of because I know Kansas City doesn't have any really good pieces that they were going to get rid of. The Giants aren't going to get rid of their stars. They're not giving up Malik Neighbors. And yeah, unless Arizona's willing to part with Kyler Murray, which Mack brought up, I don't see it either. So yeah, AJ Brown is probably your best bet. All right, we're switching gears and we're going to the NFL. The 2026 Slam Dunk Contest was a giant fiasco. I've never seen anything like this in a while. You had people that were complaining about it all over social media. The participants were Rasheed Johnson from Miami, Carter Bryant from the Spurs, Jace Richardson from Orlando, and Jackson Hayes from the Lakers. All right, Mac, I'm going to let you start this off. What did you think of the Slam Dunk Contest? And what can we do to fix this? And what problems did you have with it? The ball is yours, sir.
Okay. All right. So full disclosure, the guy from Miami won. I don't even remember his name. We have a cast of nobodies, and that I think is the biggest issue. Like, why isn't Ant-Man playing? Why isn't Ant-Man the slam dunk? He's got more electrifying talent. Now, full disclosure, America, Matt McClung, McClung had won the last 2 years of the slam dunk contest. That's the dude who was like 5'9", 5'10", whatever his height was. Now, the issue is that he was actually a professional dunker as a service. He got signed to the G League with Orlando, and that's how he was able to compete in the slam dunk contest. He did not compete this year. I'm not sure. As a max facts, I'll double check. I'm not sure if he was still with the G League or not, but that's how he was able to enter the competition. The dude was amazing. He brought some interesting stuff and some flair to the dunk contest. The problem we're seeing is I don't know why our top-tier talent players don't compete in it anymore. We will all go back to the Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan that year in Chicago, and the following year Mike didn't show up, so he finally won. There's none of that anymore, and the commissioner, Adam Silver, needs to fix this because outside of the three-point, that's the only thing that was entertaining about the whole weekend of how bad it was.
All right, here's my take on this. Congratulations to Mr. Johnson for winning. Jackson Hayes, I'm going to start with him. I'm a diehard lifetime Laker fan. I don't know what you're doing. You're 7'1", and you couldn't even dunk it from the free throw line. Like, dude, like you did such a rudimentary dunk. It's like Walter knows a lot about payroll, and him telling me, give me some advice about payroll. Oh, well, your check comes biweekly. Okay, thank you. Like what? Like it was very, very rudimentary dunk. I don't know what was special about it. This was weak. I don't know why the big stars are not doing this anymore. I don't know if it's a monetary incentive that they're not getting. I don't know if they're afraid to get hurt. I don't know what it is. But it was ugly. To see these very, basic, non-interesting, non-motivating types of dunks. It was like getting a teeth cleaning. It was brutal. Nothing exciting about it. I didn't enjoy it. I don't know if they got to get some of these other dunkers back, bring Matt back, and the gentleman who won it before him from Orlando, bring him back, incentivize. Like I said, yeah, Ant-Man is a fantastic dunker. Throw more cash atoms over to these guys. Hey, if it's a $200,000 prize, make it a $500,000 prize. Whatever you got to do, or at the very least, if it's not going to be like that, just get rid of it. I don't think people want to see Jackson Hayes dunk. Like I said, no disrespect, but dude, if I'm 7'1", I could have dunked better than that. It was just like very, very basic. So I don't get it. Walt, I am done. The floor is yours.
Well, yeah, it's the dunk contest has kind of been lacking these last couple of years, right? I think Matt McClung brought back some of that energy and that fire these last 2 years, and we had some pretty good contests, before that, the one between Levine and Gordon, that was an epic one that people will always remember. But beyond that, you really don't. Before that? What other dunk contest do you remember, right?
Yeah.
Really, there's nothing that really stands out to you. Guys kind of be taking the same old dunks, torn legs. And Matt McGlone, he brought that creativity. This year, these guys, like you said, they seem kind of basic. It's just like, okay, like we've seen that before. We've seen all this stuff before. And then after I think the dunk contest was done, Matt McGlone, I haven't verified that this is true, America, but he supposedly posted a video with 4 different dunks. I think I shared it in our chat, right?
Yes.
And looking at those dunks that he was just doing in practice, those looked way better than the dunks that the guys did in the dunk contest. I think Adam Silver, to your point, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Ray. They need to incentivize these guys, these superstars, to come out and dunk, because that's who the fans want to see. That's who America wants to see. They want to see John Morant. They want to see Zion Williamson. They want to see these guys come out. Think about all the greats did it. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, all of them, they competed in the dunk contest. You know what I'm saying? And that's because they wanted to go out there for the fans, and I think, these guys these days, I don't know what it is. They just, I guess they don't feel, that sense of pride. I don't know what it is. Hopefully Adam Silver gets it changed.
All right, listen to some comments. Tim Gonzalez, it's weird that the game's early. Yeah. Jeff Peters says the Slam Guns should be the hype also week. Now they made it a joke. I agree. And
absolutely, Jeff.
Also says Hayes, dude, it was really bad. Like I was bad.
It was bad to me.
Oh, Kurt, thank you so much for watching the show. I appreciate the support. Me and my guys, thank you. First time listener, I guess. The dunk contest has become passe. It's overexposed, especially via the highlights of every sport media platform. Agreed. Couldn't agree more. Yeah. And my brother from another mother, Tom Clark, host of Tom Clark 6M podcast. I got to plug my mic. On one hand, it's a chance to showcase some younger players. On the other hand, if you don't have any stars, people won't be interested. That's a problem because the NBA is a TV sports league. Fans want the stars. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Yeah. That's the comment of the night. Dude, if you don't have stars in there, you've got to attract them with somebody. If you don't have an Ant-Man, and I'm going to keep piggybacking off Mack, if you don't have a star that can dunk like Ant-Man, who I believe is a top 5 player right now in the NBA, if you don't have someone like that can make creative dunks, at least emphasize he's going to be participating. And maybe you have some other mediocre, elevated dunk contest members that you're not really that familiar with to the NBA, but just names in general. As long as you see Ant-Man, you're like, okay, I want to see what he's going to do. And maybe these other guys will surprise me. But, like, you got to draw the crowd with somebody. You know what I mean? You can't bring out, Jackson Hayes and you're like, who? Like, I only know him because I'm a Laker fan. Like, but other than that, people don't know who Jackson Hayes is. So, Do you agree, Walt? And then I'll ask Mack as well. Do you think they should highlight one star that's like a guarantee lock to be in it, or are you cool with these no-namers just doing this?
Well, I think they should get more than one star. Have these stars like everybody loves a head-to-head. Like me versus you, like him versus me. Like, I think that's what they need. They need that John Morant versus Anthony Ant-Man. In the dunk contest, going at it to see who can like go out here and wow these judges and fans.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I agree 100%, man. Like, it's, and you're right, Ray. Had the lead in been like with the same. Okay, so I'll give you a case in point. So Saturday night, it's Valentine's Day, first of all. I'm at the Netflix house with the wife. We're in line to getting food, and then it flashed on the screen. I'm like, oh, that's right, it's the slam dunk is tonight. And I'm watching, and I'm like, who is these guys? And the fact that Vince Carter tried to convince Chase, the guy from Orlando, when he was he had an interesting dunk, but he tried it 2 or 3 times, and then Vince was like, hey, calm down, take your time, as if like trying to help support the guy. And what did he do? He couldn't get it together. Then he was down to 30 seconds, and he finally threw something up and got like 40-something points. And I'm like, bro, like, you have got to be kidding me. And speaking of Vince Carter, Max facts for everybody. The last time was 2000 when Vince won it hands down, but he was doing amazing dunks. That's the last time it was an interesting slam dunk. And before that, there was a hiatus of 4 years where they didn't even have the slam dunk contest because that's how bad it got, that they cut it loose, Ray. And then they brought it back. Vince did he kind of did like the process where Dr. J just did like entertainment with different dunks. And he kind of did an expo where he just was doing some different dunks. And the following year, he came back, and that's when he entered the contest and he won hands down. So it's bad, bro. They got to do something better than this.
All right. We're moving gears, and we're talking about the three-point contest. As you know, the three-point contest was won by Dame Lillard. The competition was Devin Booker, Con Crepel, Tyrese Maxey, Spider Mitchell. That's Donovan Mitchell for those who don't know who Spider Mitchell is. Jamal Murray, Norman Powell, and Bobby Portis Jr. This was an excellent three-point contest because there were names there that everybody knew. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a great three-point contest. Dame time. It was Dame time. Here's my thoughts on this, and then I'm going to go to Walt and Mack. I know it was Dame time. Maybe my watch is broken, but where have you been the rest of this time? Because I have not seen you playing the NBA game. I thought it was a little weird for you to come out in All-Star Weekend to acknowledge that you're still okay. The Trailblazers could have used you right now. Kudos to him for doing this, and winning it. I like the fact that Steph Curry has now officially said he's playing next year and is going to challenge Dame for the three-point crown. I think that's going to be phenomenal. That's going to be like the first one to hit 30 because I think it's going to go like 30 to 29 or something like that. It's going to be a really, really good battle. Well, like I said, my question to you is what happened to Dame? Why is my watch broken? Because I thought Dame time would be earlier in the season, and unfortunately, I guess, like I said, I need a new battery. What's going on with him? Why is he showing up now? And do you see him doing anything for the Trailblazers? And what do you think of the three-point contest as a whole?
Also, I'm going to answer that in reverse, right? So the three-point contest was probably one of the better sides of the All-Star Weekend. They had the names, like you said, and you had some shooters out there. And I think that, Dame coming out was something, just to be a part of it because he probably won't be able to play after tearing his Achilles last year, right? So he's going to probably miss the entire season. But I think in terms of high-level competition, shooting the threes probably didn't put that much pressure on anything. He didn't have to really exert himself so much. So I think that's why he was able to come and, be a part of the competition. And it was good, right? To see him out there, to see him, do his Dame time, hitting his little wrist and stuff like that. It was cool to see him out there and to see him winning, right? So just like we see Jason Tatum out there, Jason Tatum is, he's a freak of nature, but he's he's making his way back from his own Achilles tear, right? And so I think Dame is probably, a little bit older, probably taking him a little bit longer to recover. So I think this is something that he could do. It's probably like practice. Just he probably does the same thing. Just puts up threes from all around the basket. So I think it didn't shock me that he participated.
All right, Mac, what you got?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same energy. It was a great appearance for Dame. And like I said before, the wrist action, we all love to see it. It was littered with talent. And I don't understand why the slam dunk only has 4 also. I don't know if it's a time restraint thing. Unlike the 3-point, he got 8. And, slam dunk got 4. So I think it made it interesting because 3-point is where the league is going. Like 3-point land, if you don't have someone that can execute well, then this is what you're going to have. So I think it was a great idea. And you're right, Steph calling him out, saying flat out, I'm going to see you next year is even better. And maybe something with the slam dunk, it would have been great if Ant said, I'll be, you know what I mean? So I do believe it was a great idea. Absolutely fantastic. Enjoyed it. Nail breaker and that last money rack. I'm like, bro, you got to make like how many of these? It offers parity and excitement of if someone is close to win and they need one more shot to land and then it doesn't go and it's like, but if he gets good, he won. So that's, I think, the excitement of what the 3-point contest does. So yeah, absolutely loved it.
All right. Moving gears, we're going back to the NFL. And the big news today that wide receiver Tyreek Hill has been released by the Miami Dolphins. The move announced by the team on Monday comes ahead of his contract guarantee that takes effect during the 2026 season. As you know, Hill suffered a devastating season-ending knee injury in September and is expected to miss much of the offseason in recovery. Hill's extension signed last offseason was worth, $90 million, with the final year hit of near $52 million. It was the most served to increase that average annual salary mark that is used for the most common metric for ranked players. The 2026 contract year has almost a $30 million non-guaranteed base salary, including $11 million in guaranteed salary if Hill is on the roster on the third day of the 2026 season. A $5 million bonus is due at the same time, so a lot of this is money-driven, meaning the Dolphins would guarantee $16 million if he's on the roster by March 14th. Because of the final year of his contract, did not include money that would guarantee in the event of injury. Hill's fourth season in Miami ended with 21 catches, 265 yards, and a touchdown. I will go first. I like Tyreek Hill. I think he's an excellent receiver. He's 32, which unfortunately in football years is like 72. Still an elite wide receiver. Still, I think a change maker. Do I classify him in the top 5 in terms of wide receivers currently? No, I don't. I'm not going to stand here and call blasphemy. Do I think Miami had a very salary incentive driven motivation to make this move? 100%. When you can save $60 million off your books, it's going to make a difference. So I think Tyreek Hill will end up somewhere. I don't know where. I think you should go to a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, New York Jets, someone that needs a wideout. Tyreek Hill is available. I'll let Matt go next, and then Walt, what you got? What do you think of this trade, this release, and what do you think Tyreek Hill ends up?
All right, so this is 100%. If I can save $60 million, this guy got, and it was horrific to America. I mean, if anyone saw it on TV, oh my gosh, I'm like, when they showed the replay in slow motion, I'm like, oh. So yeah, 100%. This was a 100% driven money deal. He didn't finish the season for us. We're not sure we're going to do a quarterback. I would think that would be a reason why they keep him, at least have a consistent wide receiver if they move on from Tua. We'll find out and we'll see, but now he's gone. And 1,000%, Kansas City, give that man a call. He knows the system. He knows how the offense runs. Give the cheetah a chance to come back home and finish his career. And listen, the Giants will take him, maybe move our pick to get him. Who knows? We need another wide receiver. So there could be a lot of possibilities. But the Jets, man, they need everything, bro. They need a coach. I mean, of course, they need they are us. 5 years ago, where we had no hope, no life whatsoever. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, it's unfortunate.
All right, Walt.
So I am a Dolphins fan. So as soon as this news hit,
My condolences.
I immediately let you both know, right? And look, this is part of a new regime, new coach, new GM, new people running this team and trying to make sure that they have the players in the building that they want. And if you look back last year, Tyreek, was in the news because, he kind of, quit on his team. And he said some things about Tua, he said some things about the team, and that didn't sit right with players and coaches inside of the building. So I kind of saw this coming. The writing was kind of on the wall anyway. I'm not surprised. He tore his ACL. I think also his PCL, his MCL as well. It was devastating, right? So he's 32 years old. I don't know if he's going to come back this season. And if he does, I don't know if he'll have that same, launch, that speed that he normally has. He'll still be quick, but that burst, I don't know if he'll be able to get off as fast, because of how devastating this injury was. The Dolphins, it was a smart money move, right? They're going to save $23 million this year in cap space. So they cut Chubb, and I think they saved another, $7 to $10 million. So that's $30 million to save right there. And you have Tua, that's another story that we have to talk about eventually. But that cap hit is either going to be $50 million or $99 million, depending on when they visit that cut for Tua. But I think it was justified. I think his time was going to be done. Even if Michael McDaniel would have stayed, I think they would have either traded Tyreek, even if he wasn't injured this year, he would have been gone, in my estimation. So I think as far as the team that picks him up, I don't know if the Chiefs would want him, because they've competed and made it to it, and I think we've won a Super Bowl without him as well, right? Yes, they can use him as a weapon and everything, but I think I could see him going to like Mack, like Mike said, I could see him going to the Jets, perhaps. Maybe going to Denver, to help out Ole Knicks and those guys. Get them out there and then see what happens.
All right, okay. I respect that. All right, we're switching complete gears, and we're talking baseball. Mike Trout is being moved to center field. For those who know who Mike Trout is Mr. Mr. LA Angel. He's has over 400 home runs, over 1,700 hits, career batting average of 294, a 3-time AL MVP. For some reason, now that Mike Trout is 34, they're moving him into the center field slot. I don't understand this. I love Mike Trout. I think he's a class act. I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Guys, as clean can get, like a brand new Mercedes just out the lot. I don't understand why you would move this guy into center field where, Mack and Walt both know center field covers a lot of ground. It requires youth. It requires a lot of dexterity. It requires you to cover more of the field than left or right field. You got to make more diving catches. You got to cover more of the back of the field. I don't understand this. And then I know Duncan's data has provided us with who their current left fielder is. And what's his name, sir?
Joe Adele.
Joe Adele, I don't know who that is. That could be Mama Bell. I don't know who that is. So I don't know what they're doing, but this is bad for someone like Mike Trout, who, if I had to compare him in terms of who he means to the Angels, he's the Derek Jeter of the Angels. He's the David Wright, if you're a Met fan, of the Angels. If you had to call current players, he is the Francisco Lindor of the Angels. He's that guy. And I don't know what they're doing. I'm a little hurt because I just got a lot of respect for Mike Trout. And I'm dumbfounded why they're moving to center field because he's 34 and he's had some knee problems, some back problems. And, this guy's been loyal. He could have left and gone to any other major league team, but he stayed loyal to the Angels because his family's there, his wife and kids. And, you poo-poo on him and move him to center. I don't think he agreed to it. Maybe he's going to, give you the whole media. Yeah, I agreed to it. I wanted to try it, but I call BS on that, and we'll see what happens. All right, Walt, I'm going to let you go first after this. And, Mac, what you got?
So look, I think that Mike Trout, he's played center field majority of his career, right?
Mhm.
That's, I think they even list him on the MLB site, his career profile as center field. And I saw some stories out there that, you know, he felt that it was just more comfortable for him versus playing DH in right field. So I think it may be a situation where the Angels actually are respecting his wishes and moving him back to the position that he wants to play. Now, I understand, it's like sometimes you'll hear that saying, like, it's the coaches and the team's responsibility to make sure that the player doesn't do anything to hurt themselves and put them in a position to hurt themselves, right? And I think the move to DH and right field was for health, concerns, right? To make sure that he was as healthy as possible and available as possible. Like Matt Lexi says, the best ability is availability, right? So I think that this might be because of Mike Trout actually wanting to move back to center field and actually wanting to be in his more natural and more comfortable position. That's the gist that I picked up from it when I did my research.
All right, Mac, what you got on this?
So listen, America, I attribute this story kind of like the circumstance way back when with the Yankees. Derek Jeter, Mr. Baseball, Mr. New York, they acquire A-Rod. Hey, both of you play the same position. Who's moving? Who's making a move? And Derek Jeter said, I will move position because that's why we got A-Rod. I thought it was crazy when they got A-Rod at first. I'm like, how's this going to work? But they made it happen. Now, just like our boy, Brother Duncan here said, like, the guy who's going to move to left field, we have no idea who he is. I hope for the sake of the fan base that it works. He could be comfortable if he wants to, but Ray brought up a good point. 32, that's like,
34,
like,
sir.
34. Oh, 34, that's even worse. But in baseball years, that's only 40. Unlike NFL, that's 74. But it just goes to show, like, if the man says, I got it still, well, we're going to pay you like you need to have it. So I think that's going to be the bottom line. We're not all going to figure it out until he's on the field and maybe mid-season be like, yeah, this was a bad idea, and we'll see if they make a pivot then. But it's definitely a situation where if he's moving, the guy that's going to move up to left field now better have some talent because Trout made his career being that spot. So we're going to find out. I don't like the idea. If you know what you're good at, well, this is not what I really like to do, but you've made your name because of it. So that's where I kind of like, just because you want to, that's great. It's called participation. But just because you want to doesn't mean we should, so we'll see.
All right. I agree with you 100%. Good points from both guys. All right. The next topic. In college basketball, Michigan is ranked number 1. They haven't been ranked number 1 in a long time. It's been a long time. Houston's ranked 2, Duke, Arizona, UConn. Mac, I'm going to let you start it. Walt go second, and I will end this. How far could you see Michigan doing this? Do you see them lasting number 1 for a long period of time? Is this a fluke? What you got, Mac? Talk to us.
No problem, brother. I'm going to go a little Billy Joel. Whoa, for the longest time since Michigan has ever been number 1 as a seeding. I was stunned, and I'm like, they didn't even make the finals last year. I'm sorry, they made it to the final, but they didn't win the championship. How can you be number 1 and didn't win? That's what I don't get. So you call that whatever you want to call that. The best story from Michigan that we will all know was the Fab Five. America, for those, take a look. It's a documentary of a team put together, all freshmen, actually started for Michigan and making it to the finals. So I think it's wrong. I think if you're the champs, you should be able to be deemed number 1 coming next season because you beat everybody to get there. So I don't understand how Michigan's number 1, bro. I don't. I'm okay. What rankings and decisions did they come up with to determine that they're number 1? That's what I'd want to find out.
All right, well, what you got?
Look, Michigan has looked really, really good this year. I think they're 24-1, only 1 loss on the season. They beat a lot of ranked teams already: St. John's, Auburn, Gonzaga, Nebraska, and Michigan State. Right? Yes, they have some big tests coming up in Purdue and Duke that they have to win these games. But look, I think they're going to be up to the challenge, and I think that sometimes that's what makes college basketball so great, right? Because a team could not be in the finals one year or go that far in the March Madness one year, and then the next year they can come out and put it all together. And so I think that last year's champion, I think it was Florida that won, and they lost a lot of their people. And so now Florida, I think, might be unranked. They started the season ranked, but I think it's just the team, the chemistry. How far do I think Michigan may go? I think they make a pretty deep run in the tournament, and we'll see who wins. Right now, they have the best record in men's basketball, college basketball, and I think as long as they continue to play their game and play smart basketball, they're going to hold on to that number one seed.
Well, I have sentiments of both. I think Michigan is a very solid team. I think they're going to go pretty far this year. But like my group 112 said, it's over now because Duke is coming for you. And Duke is going to play you on Saturday, and they're going to get in that you-know-what. I think once they lose to Duke, that drop just flies. It's over. I think they're going to be a top 5 seed for the remaining of the year. But do I see them holding off Duke and Arizona? No, I do not. I think Duke is too deep. I think Arizona is too gritty. I like Michigan, no disrespect, but I'm going to call a spade, Duke and Arizona, 2 firehouses. I don't see it. So we shall see.
I'm sorry. I just want to say, let me add a disclaimer. America, I do realize we're in mid-season. Only thing I'm saying about Michigan, it's been a long time since they've ever been number one. So I want to clarify, it's not like I just came up with that as an answer. But what I want to explain is number one is temporary. It's not permanent. It's been a long time since they've ever been in the number one slot as far as division basketball goes. So I just want to clarify that.
100%. I'm with you, brother. We're on the same page. Speaking of basketball, there is rumors that Jason Tatum may return to an NBA. For those who haven't heard, Jason Tatum has not played the whole 25-26 NBA season following a May 2025 surgery for his ruptured Achilles tendon. While he's progressing and participating in some controlled 5-on-5 scrimmages, remains non-committal about a return, though reports suggest he could play later this season. He's been 39 weeks out. Usually they said this surgery is about 40 to 45 weeks out. So there's the potential. All right. Here's my thoughts on this, and I will go to Mack and then Walt. If Jason Tatum finds a way to get back, because right now Boston's ranked 2 in the East, if you get a healthy 100% Jason Tatum in the playoffs, like 112 said, it's over now. Boston will win the East. I don't see anybody being that juggernaut team with Jason Tatum healthy. Now, caveat asterisk. If he is not 100%, I am not risking this young man's health, and I'm not risking his career to try to win a ship that, may or may not happen. He's too young. He's too valuable of a franchise player. He is the Jalen Brunson of the Knicks. He is the Osempo Luka of the Lakers. He is the Chad Cunningham of Detroit. He's that dude. Jason Tatum is the truth, and I'm doing everything in my power to make sure if he does come back, he is 150%. So, Mack, what do you think? And what are your thoughts on this whole scenario?
All right. Should he come back? It will be his final decision. I listened to another podcast he was on where he talked about the challenge where he was contemplating even returning to basketball, period. Like, have I made enough? If I leave the game, will I have accomplished everything I've ever wanted? He talked about how when you're a championship team and never win, with the Lakers, it's one of them deals. With the Celtics, you guys are a great team, but you never won. And he made the comment, mad at that monkey's off our back, and he really did debate it. The real question is going to be, just like we talked about early in our season as far as with our show. When LeBron was gone, when it looked great with the Lakers really gelling, if he comes back, will he analyze and figure out where I can plug in best at? And to answer your question is yes, he can, and yes, he will. He has to know what's going on. He has been up, we've seen him courtside at games. So I think he will figure out a way to plug him in. And I don't know if it'll be a gradual, maybe start, 10, 15, sit down, or come back second, third quarter if it's a close game. He's going to be there. He's going to play, and it's just a matter of time of when. Should they wait to the playoffs? Yeah, and they'll have a week to figure it out and to gel him in. So yeah, he's gonna play.
All right. Well, I see you salivating at the mouth. This is your topic. I see you like, I gotta get it in. Go, my friend. Go.
So I think that Jason Tatum, he's been ramping up in practices. And those are controlled environments. So they're monitoring the level of physicality that is being taken on by Jason in those environments. So I think that if I was him, I think I would take my time, be smart, especially if I still have the hunger or desire to compete, in this game. So I think I would be smart. We're still ranked number 2. We still possibly could win the East right now as currently constructed, even without Jason Tatum. Now, will we beat anybody in the West without him? I don't know about that. But like you both said, I think that I would wait towards the playoffs, right a couple of weeks before the playoffs are here, maybe when there's a few games left, maybe about a week or two, bring them back in, give them some, low managed minutes in, here and to try to ramp them up before the playoffs come, instead of just throwing them out there, in the playoffs where it's going to be more physical and it's going to be even tougher because you'll be playing against the good teams. You're going to be going against teams for, potentially 7 games in some series. And I just want him to be smart because that can take a toll on their body, right? So I want him to be smart. So if he is going to come back, I say do it in the, closer to the playoffs, ramp him up, see how his body responds, and if it's good, then unleash him.
All right. My one question to both of you, I'll let Mack go first and then Walt. If Boston gets to a game 5 or 6 in the Eastern Conference Finals, they still haven't used Jason Tatum yet. Forget game 6 or 7. Let's just say they're in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks, Detroit, whoever, Cleveland. Do you risk Tatum at that point because this is your chance to go to the NBA Finals, or do you roll the dice with him if you feel like he's not healthy enough? Like, what is your threshold where you say, all right, you know what? I roll the dice. We're at the Eastern Conference Final. I could sniff the ship. I could sniff the finals. Do I play him in an Eastern Conference Finals, or do you roll the dice? And if they get to the NBA championship, then do you play him? Or if you don't think he's 1,000%, not play him at all.
Okay, so to answer your question, I think the competitiveness in him will say, I want to play. Will it be disrespectful to the other players around? Oh, you wait till right now when reports was you was ready 2 weeks ago. Will it be an issue with the players? That will be the question. If they are an unselfish team and say, hey, we need you whenever you can be ready, then he'll play. If they opt and they make it to the finals, then start him. That's where I would be like, nah, man, you didn't even make it through the gauntlet to get us there. Then I would say no. But it depends on the team. If they are constructed where unselfish, we know you were the man, we know you can be the man, even though you didn't play this season, but we know we need you. And I think that'll make the difference. So I think his competitive fire. Now, if he's ready to go and is doing a Kawhi, I just don't want to, well, then it'll be like, well, then don't come see us in playoffs and championship either then. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's going to be the question mark is what we don't know as a fan. On the outside, we say, why not play? Why would you not want to play? So it just depends on the culture in the locker room.
All right, well, what do you got? What are your thoughts?
So you guys are telling me and I'm going to use this car analogy. You have a Maserati that just got a fresh oil change in the garage you can bring out, and you really care about what other people are saying because they have to drive. They're considered like a Mazda or a Nissan, even though they're new, but they're not that Maserati. Man, put that Maserati out there and show off, right? But jokes aside, right? I think that.
What color is the Maserati?
Boston green.
Oh, it's green.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's nice. Okay.
So look, I think that it depends, right? If they're going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals and they've already gotten there without Jason Tatum, but he's healthy enough to play, and the series is on the line, and you can, like you said, Ray, you can taste that chip. You can taste that. You right there, you're salivating at the mouth. Hey, we're almost to the finals. Jason's ready to go. Put him out there. Put him out there, and you trust your medical staff, you trust the player, and just hopefully being honest with you about anything that may be going on with his body, and you trust those people, and you put them out there if everybody's all on the same page. Now, if it's just Jason wanting to compete and go out there, but the medical staff is like, you should maybe return in the finals, if anything, then I think Jason should lead to the professionals when it comes to those medical decisions, right? But I think that, look, if Boston made it all into the ECF, the Eastern Conference Finals, and he can't play, roll with the team that you have. You guys are good, obviously good enough to make it there. So I think it depends on how Jason actually, how his body is at that time point.
I couldn't agree more. They're valid points. All right, our last topic of the day, and I will start this off. AEW had their pay-per-view in Australia this weekend. The two highlights was Kyle Fletcher retaining the TNT title over Mark Briscoe. He introduced his brand new pink belt. Kudos to Kyle Fletcher. Prototype. I think that dude is insane. I think he's going to be a future champion. The other news is MJF defended his world title against Brody King and defeated him. Now, there are small speculations that Brody King did not get the title because he's been rocking a lot of anti-ice T-shirts and there's been a lot of anti-ice chants. As you know, Walt Disney is a 10% holder of AEW, and I know they're not into the politics and they don't want to hear this stuff. So I don't know if that had a factor on Brody King not being AEW champion or not. Rumors are that the Hangman Adam Page, who defeated Andrade El Idolo to become the new number one contender, is the reason they want to create that Hangman Page MJF feud again, because those two feuded way back when. And that's the one guy that MJF has not been able to pin is Hangman Page. But a small part of me thinks that, Brody King is ginormous. He looks the part. He speaks well. He's got everything. I can't think that it's not 100% not involved with politics and the fact, like I said, that he's wearing an anti-ice T-shirt and they're rocking the chant. A small part of me has to believe that it has something to do with it. I'm not saying it's 100%, but you cannot look me in the eye and say there's not a small factor in that. Walt, I'll go to you first, and then Matt can close this out. What do you think of AEW Australia? I know you watched a little bit of it. And what do you think about, like I said, the Brody King situation with MJF and him not being the champion?
Look, I'll speak on the other matches first, right? Like there were a lot of good matches. I think Moxley versus
Takeshita.
Takeshita. Hangman versus Andrade, and the ladder match that was really good. Fletcher and Briscoe, those were good matches. The Babes of Wrath versus Mega Bad, it was all good stuff, right? So I think it was very entertaining. I definitely have to check it out more. Thank you for putting me on to that.
Yes, I got you.
It was so exciting. Now going back to MJF and Brody King, right? I think that if it was an issue as far as the anti-ice shirt that the organization had, I think they would have said something to him before he even went out there. They would have stopped him from wearing it. Possibly. Now look, we don't know. This is we're all speculating, and so it possibly could have impacted it. But we truly don't know. I think that AWE allows those people to be who they are and speak and be true to what beliefs they have. So no matter what side of the coin you're on. So did it have any impact? I don't necessarily think it did, but would I be surprised if it did have some impact? I wouldn't.
All right, Mac. What you got, brother?
All right, so Walt, just AEW, brother.
It's all good, bro.
It's all right. I just haven't noticed. So I'll start from the standpoint with the Fletcher match. Love to see the ladder match. You know what I mean? Like the good and bad of it. I mean, this guy, when they fall from the top, I mean, God bless them. Their body has to be conditioned to take that pounding. Of course, he retained. I mean, he just won it the week before, the title back the week before, and then he defended it in his hometown, Australia. Good for him. He won. I love the flash with the pink. You know what I mean? Like, the man is confident in himself, so go get it. The women's tag team match was amazing also, too, to watch the ladies. They're really doing their thing. I'm really excited for this version of this version of wrestling, which is an umbrella of WWE. But, you know, and then to flip over to the Brody match, I mean, Brody King, I mean, the guy's got a full beard. He looks menacing. I'm not going to say no to him. Like, if that's what you want to wear, go ahead. Like, you know, like, but I do believe bottom line is this, it comes down to sponsorship. If sponsorship sees viewings and then the ratings start to dip, will these sponsors say, if this guy is wearing this stuff and it's causing views, if they can try and figure out or quantify his negativity against ICE? I mean, listen, we all don't want ICE to be involved in what's happening. Like, you know, it's wrong for some of the tactics that they do. So I appreciate his willingness to wear what he's wearing. I equate this to the NBA. When we had the situation during the bubble, what was happening on with America, we all saw what happened. And the NBA players were very outspoken with the whole campaign, I Can't Breathe T-shirts, the whole movement. Adam Silver, they had to figure out how to posthumously make this, giving empowerment to their athletes. They're going to wear it whether they want to, and they'll just eat the fine because they have more money versus Brody has as far as being in AEW. So I commend him for his actions, but the bottom line is this, America, we all know this. Money talks and everything else walks. If sponsors start pulling out of their product, they will come to him and say, if you don't stop wearing these shirts, you won't be with us as an organization. And I guarantee you, he will stop wearing the shirts. But at this point, what he's standing for, I do believe in. If it hurts them, their bottom line is when it'll change.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to thank you both for being AEW fans. I love the pay-per-view. I want to give kudos to Babes of Wrath. So, Walt, yes, I agree. Babes of Wrath are a phenomenal tag team. I like that team a lot. Haley Cameron is the truth. And Mack, I agree with you. I think Kyle Fletcher is the truth. His nickname is the prototype. The dude can go. I think, like I said, I think he's going to be a world champion. I couldn't say enough about that match. That was fantastic. AEW, you know, we're going to start promoting a lot of their stuff. They have their show on Wednesdays now, so we're going to start throwing some AEW in the mix because, you know, this is Race Sports and Slams, and we're getting a lot of emails and texts. Where are the slams? Where are the slams? So you wanted the slams. You got the slams. We were there for you. You got it. All right, time for the final buzzer. This is where you can ask us anything about anything. This is wide open. Bring your thoughts and bring your suggestions. Jeff Peter, MJF wasn't going to lose no matter what, and Yuta lost his hair. Yes, Wheeler Yuta lost his hair. He looked like a sheepdog, so he needed that haircut. The three of us should not be talking about hair, but that's another story. But I think MJF, I think he was going to win because of the whole Hangman Page angle, because for those who don't follow it, you know, he's been the thorn in MJF's side. He can't beat Hangman Page for his life. And now that he's the champ, he's going to have to face him. So there could be something to that. Wheeler Yuta got his head shaved. Yes, everybody's talking about the head shaving. Did you guys see that, and what'd you think of it?
Well, listen, I mean, they did it live, which I don't know how much entertainment that was, but to see someone cut his hair. And listen, we're all from the three bald community here. I had hair at one point, but I don't because I couldn't grow it anymore. But it will grow back. But maybe this could be the direction made it possibly change with his character. Shave his head, maybe a different angle or attitude with him because of it. It could be a plus point.
And Jeffrey, I do apologize. It wasn't a pay-per-view. It was on TNT. It was pay-per-view quality. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, And Timmy says, Houston, keep an eye, Mac. I think he's saying Houston could win this. I don't know. Houston's a very good team, too, in college basketball. I don't know. And Jeffrey says, when does the NBA ever make sense in their rankings? Agreed more, dude. Sometimes Mac brings some valid arguments, dude. Yeah. I feel like, it's very fluctuating. Teams are hot, but Duke's going to end that. And on the last comment, Tim, let's say Wemby enters Slam Dunk next year. Would you see more NBA stars follow Wemby? All right. I will say this, and then you guys comment. If Wemby does a dunk, because Wemby is 8 feet 12. If he does a dunk, he better do it. He better do it from half court. If he does some basic rudimentary dunk with his size, I'm going to be pausing and taking a nap because that's ridiculous. So I'm okay with him being in it. But, boy, he better bring the thunder, the lightning, and all that other stuff. Walt, what are your thoughts on that comment?
I think Wemby joining the dunk contest would potentially pull in some other young stars to maybe participate in it. Seeing Wemby in it, I don't know, because he really doesn't have that much. He can't really get off because he's so tall and so lanky, right? Maybe he could do some interesting stuff, because he is so long. But I think that it would potentially bring out some stars if he did it. So let's hope he does it and gets these guys off the bench.
All right, Mac, what you got?
Man, he would have been better in the 3-point last night to see Wemby. That would have been better because he can drop a 3 on you like Kevin Durant can. And Durant's never done the 3-point either. That's another guy. Why not? So do I think Wemby in the slam dunk? You're right. The dude is, what is he, 8'10", 7'5", 7'4" he is. It's like, dude, it looks so awkward when he does. He did this past week. I mean, I think it was a lob kind of to him, but it's not flashy because he's so tall. Like it doesn't.
Dude, it's like me asking you or Walter to cough. Like whoopie-doo. Like you're a human being. You could cough. Like wow, thank you. The guy's a giant. Like he should be able to dunk. I just say if he's going to enter it, Tim, he better do something amazing. Like I want to see you do a backflip into the dunk or something like beyond words because you have such a massive height advantage. When some of the other guys, Gordon won it. These guys are 6'8", 6'9". You're 7'4", 7'5", dude. Like, come on. Yeah. So it is what it is.
Because he couldn't do that Gordon dunk under his legs because he's so tall. It would just be so awkward. Like he'd probably
just be an awkward, weird dunk. Like I don't know, dude. Like I get the name recognition. I get the hype about Wemby. I know Mac's not a big Wemby guy, but I respect.
No, I'm not.
But I respect it, but I do not see him doing anything spectacular in the dunk. All right, guys.
Put some respect.
I'm going to but he is having no respect. I don't understand, Mac. Me and Walt are on the same page. He doesn't like Wemby. I don't know why. All right, Mac, I'm going to let you say goodbye first. Say what you got to say, and we're going to bid everybody in adieu.
Listen, as usual, I want to give a shout out to everyone who celebrated love this past weekend. With Valentine's Day. It is great to see people, and I've been seeing a lot of comments on social media. So please take care of yourself, America, and others around you. And for those who may have lost someone that you always celebrate on Valentine's Day, it's okay. Hold them in your heart. So all I can say is please like, share, and subscribe to Boink Studios.
Thank you, brother. All right. What you got?
Man, I am so grateful for our consistent fans, those who are in the chat. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Matt, for making this show so fun. I'm glad to be here. If you want to learn about payroll, check out It's About Payroll podcast anywhere that you can listen to podcasts. And continue to support us. Tell your friends, tell your loved ones to come and check out Ray Sports and Slams, because we bring it every day.
Every day. And maybe we'll get Mack to become a Wemby fan.
Yes.
All right, stay in the studio. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you again for watching Ray Sports and Slams. We always bring the fire every Monday, 6 o'clock on boinkstudios.com, YouTube. Follow us on all the social media platforms. I can't thank you guys enough for all your comments, all your support, all your likes, shares, subscribes. Without you guys, the three of us will not be here. So, again, I can't thank you guys enough. Have a great week. We will see you next Monday with more Thunder. And maybe during this week, we can convince Mack to become a Wemby fan. We'll see if that can happen. Have a good night, and we will see you next week.